Welcome to Light Over Heat with Professor David Yamani. Today I want to talk a little bit about gun safety and also give you an opportunity to win a free gun safe. I've been talking a lot about gun safety for quite some time now, actually, but especially it seems in recent months, people have been asking me for my advice on how to promote gun safety. So, for example, the Washington Post is collaborating with the Ad Council for a campaign on gun safety, and they asked me, as a gun owner yourself, is there a single piece of advice about gun safety you'd like to share with other gun owners? And here, I think the answer is pretty simple, and I draw on a formulation that I got from Rob Pincus, if I recall correctly, right? That with the right of gun ownership comes the responsibility to ensure that unauthorized people cannot access your firearms, right? So you're responsible for keeping control over your firearms, and one of the best ways to do that is either to keep it on your person, right, or within your sphere of control, or when you're not able to do that, to keep it locked up in a manner that other people can't access it. And here I'd like to say that I think gun owners are doing a pretty good job of this, and I want to draw on some data that was collected for the 2021 National Firearms Survey out of Northeastern University and Harvard University. And they are looking at firearms storage in households with children in particular. So this isn't all gun owners, but I think households with children are particularly significant to look at. So here they're comparing data that they collected in 2015 to 2021, and I think the trends that they're uncovering are pretty encouraging. So in 2015, they found that 29% of gun owners with kids at home stored their guns locked and unloaded, right? And this is oftentimes taken to be the gold standard, certainly among gun violence prevention advocacy groups, but also if you see people within the gun community like the NSSF and others, they suggest storing your guns locked and unloaded when you're not using them, even though we know that sometimes that's not going to be appropriate, as with, for example, a defensive firearm. But I do keep some of my guns that I don't use frequently and that I don't expect to use immediately, locked away in a safe and unloaded. So in 2015, 29% of gun owners with kids at home did that, and in 2021 that went up to 44%. So a 50% increase over that 6-year period. So I think the word's getting out that, if you have kids at home, right, the idea being to prevent unauthorized access to firearms, please keep your firearms locked, and in this case, unloaded. Now, the opposite of that would be to keep your guns loaded and unlocked. This might be, depending on the circumstances, considered an unsafe situation. Obviously, if you have immediate control over that firearm, that's not a problem. But I think, there are a lot of people who do keep their guns loaded and unlocked, on a bookshelf or in a drawer or someplace that they think that nobody's going to find them, like a kid. But we know the kids are very clever in those ways. So again, 2015, only 21% of gun owners gun owners with kids at home responded that they stored their guns loaded but unlocked. And by 2021, that had dropped to only 15%, right? So down 30% over that period, really. And so what I conclude, and I wouldn't even say that all 15% of those people who say they store their guns loaded and unlocked are necessarily doing that unsafely. I know that certainly some of those people are, and we see the negative results that come from that. But at least 85% of gun owners are doing the right things by not keeping their firearms loaded and unlocked and out of their control in a way that an unauthorized person could get access to them, right? This is a big part of responsible gun ownership. On the issue of gun safety, I think that few groups are doing work as well as Walk the Talk America. I'm a huge supporter of what they're doing at the intersection of guns and mental health. And so they did a fundraiser recently. They auctioned off a bunch of firearms and some other things. I didn't need any firearms, but I did bid on and win this gun safe, which I actually also don't need, but it's a perfect item for someone who wants to responsibly stage their defensive firearm for quick access. So if that is you and you're interested in getting this gun safe, I'm going to give it away to somebody who comments on this video, whether you see this video on Facebook or Twitter or Blue Sky or on my YouTube channel or my Substack. Wherever you're seeing this video, please tag a friend in the comments of that social media. Tag someone who you think would benefit from having this safe. And I will select in a week's time, so around April 15th, I'll select somebody from among all of the people who commented on this video on social media, and I will send them free of charge this safe. I think this type of device is really important, regardless of whether you use a device like this or not. Again, my answer to this question that people ask me is, what is something that a responsible gun owner can do to promote gun safety? It is to prevent unauthorized people from accessing your firearms. However you do that, but safes are a great and affordable for many people mechanism for that. Tell me your thoughts. Please comment on this video, tagging a friend who you think might benefit from having this safe, and I'm very excited to get it out to one lucky viewer.